Mr. Chairman, the Prime Minister made mention that internet is subsidized on the front side. Now, Mr. Chairman, I would want to believe that those answers came from Telem given to the Prime Minister. But I would like to ask the Honorable Prime Minister, internet is subsidized on the front side to whom? The hospital, the airport, all the government agencies on the front side, or to private homes? And who are the ones subsidizing internet on the front side? Because when you made mention in your answer that internet is subsidized on the front side, exactly who is subsidizing the internet and where is the internet being subsidized? Digicel, that is widely used on the front side, is not a French company. So Dauphin and all those are different companies. Who is subsidizing the internet on the front side? Is it the French government that is subsidizing the internet on the front side? Is it a French company? What exactly do you mean when you said internet is subsidized on the front side? Is it subsidizing the French Republic or from the French government? It doesn't really add up when you make mention that simply internet is subsidized on the front side. Subsidized on the front side, how? To whom? Where? How much? From what? Mr. Chairman, I would like to know some clarifications exactly what is meant when the Prime Minister said that internet is subsidized on the front side. Also, Mr. Chairman, the Prime Minister said that the mayor case is still in court. I would want to believe that the mayor won that case with Telem. The MER won that case with Telem. And it's a matter of figures of how many, what is to be paid out and how much Telem come back to pay. So it is in court on which level? It's in court on the appeal. It's in court in the Supreme Court. At which level is it still in court? Because I would want to believe, or I know, that that case was settled and Mayor won that case. So can the Prime Minister clarify exactly what part or which part of that case is still in court? Thank you.
Emmanuel asked a clarification on how the internet is subsidized on the French side. I was not able to get an answer from the French government per se, but based on what I have been made to understand is that the French state subsidizes the telecoms, thereby affording them the opportunity to offer lower rates to the population. I will seek further. I have actually sent out the request for further information from my colleagues. And as soon as I have a more detailed response, Mr. Chairman, I will provide that. But for now, that is the response that I have. In explaining the Mer case in my earlier response, I explained that Telem and Mer decided to forego the court case and dealt with a mediator. Telem in the end did not agree with the mediator's decision but have budgeted for what the decision called for. They are currently in appeal in the Netherlands to the mediator's decision to have that put aside, and they will know about this ruling at the end of the year, but the projections for the finances related to that result is on the books of Telem to be paid out should they not win that appeal. I'm hoping that clarifies the answer, Mr. Chairman. And I think, the subsequent question or elucidation that was requested about Starlink, I did answer in my previous answers in that, of course, any free internet would have an impact on the bottom line of both companies, in my opinion.
Mr. Chairman, based on some of the answers that the Prime Minister responded on regarding the home pass, especially that one, the Prime Minister made mention through you, Mr. Chairman, that 70% home pass on the Dutch side. Of the 30% that are not passed, can the Prime Minister, through you, Mr. Chair, indicate what areas they are, and if there are budget assigned to finalize the 30% of the home pass? And also, I heard the Prime Minister mention earlier that The project, the fiber to the home project is stagnant because of staff. I would like the Prime Minister to explain exactly what does she mean by stagnant because of the staff. The staff is not, I think she mentioned it earlier, but I think in the first round, I'm not sure, but just since it's been that long, she mentioned it again, that it is the staff that is stagnating the fiber to the home process. So it's not budget. Is it not budget? It's just staff. So why staff and what department? And what exactly? I would like a little explanation as to what the issue is there and what the management is doing to, overcome the situation, to make sure that the 30% is finalized. So again, is there a budget in place for the 30%? And if it's being stagnant now, why and which staff? I like a little more elucidation there.
Earlier in the first round, in the Prime Minister's answering of the questions, she made mention a few times of documents being confidential and she can provide in closed-door meeting, and this one is confidential. Mr. Chairman, Babochi down the road got a whole document and he can simply give it to everyone who he find it fit to give it to. What I'm saying, Mr. Chairman, is best that the document be made available in its whole entirety to the members of Parliament, because it's out there, Mr. Chairman. So to keep making mention that this is confidential and that is confidential, really and truly, Mr. Chairman, anyone can get the document. The Prime Minister asking, what am I talking about? The SOB report. And tell him. It's out there in its whole, in every detail, it's there. It was sent to Parliament. You could have only watched and look. I was not one that had the privilege to do that. So I didn't see it. What I'm saying is the document is there, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask a few questions. 15 minutes, 12 minutes. How many loans were taken out for the FTTH project? And what is the value of those loans? Mr. Chairman, I would also like to know, the project started out with 18.5 million. It ballooned, skyrocketed to 44 million. I would like to ask through you, Mr. Chairman, is Telem currently up to date in terms of meeting the obligations for those loans? Mr. Chairman, I would like to know what districts are being chosen first for that project. I would also like to know, Mr. Chairman, how much was paid, or how much was the mayor paid before the contract was terminated?
My main question is, what is the plan for SMPR1? Because it has been down for quite some time, and that's a considerable amount of pairs landing in St. Martin to allow resiliency to Telem's network. And even though I'm not a Telem customer, I do know that on and off they do share infrastructure, especially in cases of emergency. So if that capacity is not there, I'm sure we can all kind of guess as to what would occur in the event of a disaster. And my second question, I didn't ask it at first, but I did pay attention to the answers regarding IntegraTouch, that it is a billing software that does not do the full capacity of what Telem needed as laid out in the RFP. But I just want to ask, what were the parameters of the RFP? Because a quick search shows that IntegraTouch has a CRM component to it. So most software as a service products are usually meant to allow you to pick and choose what components you want to have access to and you want your staff to have access to. So for me, seeing that they don't just do billing, they also do full-fledged CRM, maybe that's not the only reason why they're now being reevaluated. So if we could just get some ideas on the parameters then of the RFP, because as I said, IntegraTouch is full-fledged. It's billing, CRM, user account management, even if you want to have a client portal. So all of that is possible just by checking their website. So
I would like to have the opportunity to return. I don't believe that I can answer these questions conclusively in a few minutes. It
Okay.
would require the company to prepare more in-depth answers than I'm able to get off the cuff, and so I would prefer to do that.
Understood. Do you have any other remarks before we adjourn the meeting?
Just basically, I didn't, and why I made comments, I apologize for while the member of parliament was speaking, to have made my comments out loud, or even not maybe loud enough to be heard by the public, but it was in fact not a good thing. But I was a bit confused as to why questions that were already answered in the first round were being repeated. And then I was told just, the statement was made in the opening that, you could decide not to answer them if you want, and then you create an impression like I do not want to answer them. Okay, but the questions, some of them were asked already and provided in the first round, and so that will be taken into consideration in preparing the answers. But at the end of the day, it is the time of the support staff and everybody else that is also then, with this process. So I'm just wanting to be clear that government at all times is prepared to answer what we can answer, and questions of a financial nature will require a closed-door session. So then if that is the case, then we call a central committee or whatever it is in closed door, and we have the frank discussions on the finances and other areas that are propriety. One of the things that the member also mentioned in that the report is out there, that is a clear, for me, breach of integrity. And if we are going to say that we are integral in everything we say and do, we do not promote that information that should be propriety, that should be safeguarded for the country's sake. Like, what are we benefiting from killing the company? So I am very cognizant of what confidentiality means and what integrity means, and I aim to uphold that in the interest of the companies that are the people's business.
Mealtime rules. Don't serve yourself first. Do not eat with your mouth open. Don't rest your elbows on the table. Don't make noise when eating. Does not apply when enjoying KFC buckets. When we bucket together, we are as we really are.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurances.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurances.
During the hurricane season, a potential tropical cyclone can produce rainfall that can cause flash flooding and rockfalls. Stay away from flood-prone areas during heavy rainfall, such as Jump Up Casino on Emma Plain Road in Phillipsburg, ATLH Road Roundabout, L.B. Scott Road from Emilio Wilson Park until Cake House Supermarket, Zaker's Gut from Petro Plus gas station until the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Welcalaken Road K Hill from Welcalaken Road Roundabout until the One-Tete Loke Roundabout, Beacon Hill Road from Sunset Bar and Grill until the beginning of White Sands Road, and Rhine Road, also known as Mullet Bay Road, after Sonesto Maho Beach Hotel to the entrance of Cooper Coy from the intersection of the University Drive until the intersection of Rio Grande. For more information on how you can keep yourself and your family safe this hurricane season, visit stmartingov.org/hurricane. This public service announcement is brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
Through my prostate cancer period, so to speak. I'm still in it. I'm not out of the woods yet. But I've been lucky enough to catch it early, as a result of which I could be treated. I was operated. I choose to have an operation to have my prostate completely removed. They call that a radical prostatectomy. Yeah, I won't bore you with all the details. If you want to talk about that with me, because you're considering doing this operation, I'm available for everybody to talk about it at the Herald. You can give me a call. We can go and have a coffee and we can discuss it. But I will focus more directly on the issue of erectile dysfunction and whether this is an issue that you may have to deal with if you have an operation. Now, I must say that once I learned that I had prostate cancer, I've always lived a very healthy life. I just ran into this through a regular blood test. I had no pain, I had no issues. I had a regular blood test and suddenly found out that I had a heightened PSA, and so I had to go to the whole test regimen and found out that I had the cancer. But in this period, I had a lot of stress, as you can imagine. If you you have cancer in you, the stress level rises, and I must say that really affected my libido. I also got the impression that my the doctor can tell, maybe explain that from a biological point of view, that the sperm count also went down, also the feeling that produced that, so to speak. I'm very open about this. I'm not gonna after the operation, that's when I actually started experiencing erectile dysfunction for a while. I'm completely back to normal again. So I want to assure people that that is, if you have the operation, that it's not a lasting thing. I had it for a while, but that is because the chances during operation is that the nerve can be touched. And if they touch the nerve, it can take up to a year before the nerve starts producing electricity again, I suppose. That is what, as the doctor explained, it's the nerve that stimulates your penis to do your thing.
Prime Minister, also, can you kindly give us an update on grid market? We see that a lot of progress is being made on the area of renewable energy in Aruba. They've recently signed an MOU for their hydrogen refinery. So can you give us an update on grid market?
So Grid Market is the company that prepared our roadmap. They have been having extensive discussions with various stakeholders on the island, but of course, the main stakeholder being NVGEBE has to be fully involved for us to move towards the execution of it. The next step in that plan is the site assessments of where the possible solar panels would go. The first phase of our transition to renewable energy entails solar panels, and the energy work group, which consists of the various departments within government and NVGEBE, are scheduled to meet in this week and moving forward so that they can forward the agenda, because the inclusion and the participation of NVGEBE is key. And we did receive in our last meeting with them commitment to move forward, as well as several documents in writing to be able to forward the agenda for St. Martin of moving towards renewable energy. As you know, we also signed a MOU in Aruba with the Dutch government to be able to access funding to be able to move forward, which is also being followed up on, but will require, of course, more information being presented. I said it earlier, we have to ensure we're doing our due diligence. So that is what is needed now, meaning collaboration, grid market, government, and NVGEBE to move forward positively to do this. So every country is at a different stage, and I'm very happy for the process where they are at. We are currently still where we are.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurances.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurances.
With you, the new Kentaco. A combination that will surprise the most curious palates. Combining the deliciousness of KFC chicken and the practicality of a taco. With a doubly delicious ergonomic shape. Wow! Compatible with all types of bites. New Kentaco. Enjoy a double breaded chicken breast with our secret recipe. Cheese, lettuce, and tomato. New Kentaco, the innovation that's in everyone's mouth.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Here are a few tips to keep in mind to help keep you and your family safe. The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th, with the peak occurring between mid-August and late October. This hurricane season, be sure to put together a go bag. A disaster supply kit including a flashlight, batteries, cash, first aid and supplies, medications, and copies of your critical information if you need to evacuate. This public service announcement was brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
According to US officials, Kim Jong-un is expected to make a rare visit overseas and discuss the possibility of North Korea providing Moscow with weapons to support its war in Ukraine. The exact location of the planned meeting is not yet clear. In a statement, US national security officials say that arms negotiations between Russia and North Korea are actively advancing. I talked this through with our North America correspondent, Peter Bowes.
There has been growing concern in Washington that this deal was being worked on by Russia and North Korea. It followed a visit to North Korea by the Russian defense minister. And so now, in the last few hours, we have confirmation from officials in Washington that it is believed, as you say, that Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin will meet at some point, a place to be decided, it seems, or at least revealed, in Russia over the next few weeks. A very high-stakes meeting. They have met before. 2019 was the last time in Russia, but clearly the situation is different now. And we know that Russia needs more artillery ammunition. With very few friends around the world, it is perhaps telling that they are turning to a pariah state like North Korea to, it seems, source this weaponry that they crucially need to pursue the war in Ukraine. It wouldn't be one-sided, though. What we understand, and this is being reported by the New York Times, is that this would come as a price, and the price from North Korea would be advanced technology from Russia to help it advance its nuclear program, and also possibly food supplies for North Korea. It's a very impoverished country, a lot of starvation across that nation, and that food supplies could be part of this potential deal.